on Paulsboro, a new show, a special show. Irma, this program is loaded.
Everybody vote November the 3rd, John.
We do have the candidates. Local candidates will be on in the program. Interview with the chief, some updates from the port. Congressman Norcross was in town, Senate President Sweeney in town. We hope you enjoy all the footage we have. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, master mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and rug doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back to Eye on Paulsboro. With me now is no stranger to many of you. Congressman Donald Norcross is in Gloucester County and Paulsboro in particular. He has visited with our friends at Railroad Construction today as part of the National Railroad Contractors Initiative across the country. And now we come to you from the Paulsboro port site, which the congressman is very, very familiar with, but hasn't seen it to this stage. So first of all, Donald, welcome. And you haven't visited the show since you've got settled in Washington. But before we talk about Washington, you know, you were in all the meetings when the port was talked about, so now you get to say it.
Well, we go back 15 years when the DRPA, along with others, were looking at what I call the liquid highway, the Delaware River and its needs in the next 2 decades. And what they came up with is we were very much undersized in the river's capacity. So what happened is while others saw the recession come and ran away, Paulsboro, along with the state and certainly the county and local officials, say we want to be ready for when the economy comes back. And what we see behind us today is exactly that. We're ready, the economy's coming back, and that's good for jobs, that's good for South Jersey.
And just good all the way around. You visited with Jim D'Aloisio and his family over at Railroad Construction. Now, of course, you grew up around industry, so you understand what happens at places like that. What was your impression of his operation?
Well, having worked at, back then it was mobile research, GATX, all along the river here, this seemed almost like my second home. And certainly passing Railroad Construction all those years, I wasn't fully aware of what they did. Now we can see that he is the backbone of infrastructure for the United States of America. It's railroad, it's highways, and it's ports. And he is a key leg on the three-legged stool. Without railroad, our infrastructure comes to a halt, literally. So it's good to see that somebody is out there laying those tracks. Yeah,
and they're friends. And you know, we're grateful to him and his family too, Donald, because they're involved, Boys and Girls Club. You know, they're just real citizens.
As I always say, the best social program is a job, and clearly he has a great relationship with his employees, pays a good wage, health benefits, pension, and most importantly, he's part of the community, the fabric of what goes on here. You can't ask any more of an employer than that.
No, and just good people. You're seated in Congress. You have, as an individual and a freshman congressman, have found yourself in the middle of a number of issues, have recently been elevated to leadership. How about some general observations? How are you finding the nation's capital?
Well, first and foremost, it's remarkable to have the honor to go to Washington. As you know, there's 211 lawyers, which we love. I'm the only electrician, and we talk about diversity, and that's what's important. I bring down, you know, I've worked here. I understand what a job means to people, and sometimes that gets lost in the mix down in Washington. So that's the perspective I want to bring. It's about the economy. It's about education, certainly making sure South Jersey gets its fair share. They haven't always got that. And it's so important that we take that perspective and make sure we bring back that common sense approach, working collectively together with both sides of the aisle.
And I too, by the way, since I had the pleasure of serving with you at the State House, and you've always been very supportive, and your family very supportive of efforts that many of us have been involved in. You arrived in Washington in complicated times. You traveled to Israel during that discussion of the deal with Iran, and I watched from a distance. You seem fully engaged.
Well, certainly, as anybody who knows me is, I jump in with both hands, both feet, trying to get my hands around it. The deal with Iran for not only the United States, for Israel, but for the entire world is so important. And we want to make sure that now that it has been approved, even though I had obviously voted against it, that we do the best job we can making sure that Iran never, ever gets a nuclear weapon. Certainly a big one. And then most recently, having the Pope come to Washington. We got a double dose. I got him in Washington and I got him in Philadelphia. And bringing such great words of working together and collective comments of we can be one. We don't always have to fight. And then yet 24 hours later, the speaker, the third most powerful person in our country, steps down. And just last week, the majority leader, who is the second most powerful, drops out of the race. So that part of what we're doing in Washington and the people I talk to back home, they can't understand the inaction. So, as you know, John, I was sworn in the same time Chris Christie was here in New Jersey, and it's not that we're always on the same policy issue. We're very different. But one thing we both understood, and you understand this, is collectively we have to come to consensus and get moving forward. And that's what I want to do in Washington.
Well, Don, I'm glad you're there, and I mean that. I was so very proud. Earlier, he just was seated in Washington. He arrived in New Jersey on the Air Force One with the president. I recall the picture you stepping off the plane.
One of those pinch me moments, coming off of the icon of the United States of America, which is Air Force One, with the literally the most powerful person in the world. And we're able to share our concerns about jobs here in South Jersey and the economy. And it's always a balance, you know. We certainly want to make sure that we protect the environment, which is what you're doing here, but it's also about jobs. They have to go together. One can't live without the other. So it was great to be there.
Thank you. We've enjoyed our visit with Congressman Donald Norcross, and I can tell you his office is always available should you have an issue that needs to be addressed. His constituent outreach is very strong because I can tell you that he cares and his staff follows his direction. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Thanks, Donald.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Welcome back to Iron Paulsboro. A real pleasure to visit with a friend to me personally, but a friend to many of you watching this show, Senate President Steve Sweeney. Steve, today we're at the port site, but we haven't had a chance to visit on the air for a while. You've been very busy. I mean, the governor's in Iowa, and you are covering more of the state than he is.
It'd be nice to have the governor back so we could deal with some of the issues that we have, you know, in the state right now, John, which is transportation, pension, and many other important issues, but his focus isn't here right now, and it's sad for the people of the state.
Yeah, I sense that we've sort of hit a spot where it's not that we're at any kind of logjam, but I mean, you know, the governor needs to be the governor.
Yeah, you know, you need all three branches to coordinate in order to get something done, and when you have no one to talk to, nothing gets done. And you know, and unfortunately, he's basically completely walked away. And, you know, I understand he's running for president, but when he comes back, he's going to have a very short period of time. And we got a lot of things to fix here, you know, and you know that, John. We have critical issues to move this economy, and transportation being one of them. You know, we're standing here with this port. You know how you move this product? You need good roads and you need good rail. We can't do that without money, and right now the TTF is going to expire this summer.
It's just been lingering, and it needs to be addressed. And you've become a very strong voice in that. Steve, give people a sense, because you cover the state as your office as Senate President. It's a big responsibility. You're all over the state. What's the mood? What's the temperature across the state?
Well, I think there's a great deal of frustration because people actually elected somebody to be the governor of their state, not to be the president, and they want to see him serve them. And it's not like we're not here ready to go to work with him, and that we haven't worked with him before, and we fought with him when we worked with him. But, you know, we need him back here. And I get that everywhere I go, John. People are really frustrated that he's not spending any time here. And he can say all he wants about, you know, calling and texting and all that other stuff. You know, that works to an extent. A lot of times you need to sit down eye to eye and have that conversation when there's tough issues to get things done. And we have no one to talk to. I mean, I met him in the summer, and I can't tell you the last time I spoke to him. I've called him several times. He doesn't return calls.
It's just an interesting time with respect to that juxtaposition. But frankly, you know, the governor ideally should be here. The Senate President is carrying a lot of the load, which from our standpoint, you know, it's just a big responsibility. And, you know, again, Steve, you think about this end of the state, you got the port project behind us, the Rowan stuff is growing in leaps and bounds. You know, there's reason for optimism.
John, we're just starting. You know, southern New Jersey today will look nothing like it will 20 years from now. And honestly, it's going to be so much better 20 years from now. This port will be bustling with a couple thousand people working. Hopefully a lot of Paulsboro residents working, employed, owning homes. Rowan, being the research university, is going to drive medical research. You're going to have many more people getting degrees. The workforce is going to be different. Quality of life will be different. It'll be a great deal of hope. Because, you know, when you tell kids to work hard, go to school, get a good education, and you're going to get that brass ring, and a lot of times those brass rings aren't here. Well, they're going to be in Gloucester County.
That sums it up, and it's a good spot to end this interview. Just visited Senate President Steve Sweeney, a friend for many, many years, against the backdrop of a port that's slowly but surely coming to life. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
And welcome back. Very pleased that the candidates looking to be elected to local office here in town will now join us. I'd like to remind all of you they are your neighbors. We don't have teleprompters. We invite them on to read from notes or speak directly to the camera just to give you a better idea about them. Remember, do your part on November 3rd. The polls are open many hours through the course of the day. No reason not to vote. Now to the candidates.
Hello, my name is Larry Haynes, Sr. I'm here tonight to ask for your support and to vote on November the 3rd for re-election for council. I'm here with the team of Stevenson, Gina Pola, and Haynes. Over the last several weeks, we've been out in the community visiting residents, talking to civil groups, and also negotiating with the residents. During this time, we brought up many issues that we feel that are facing Paulsboro. We need your support. We are a team. We're in the community. We're being seen around the town. So please vote on November the 3rd.
Hi, I'm Alfonso Giampola, and I'm running for council in Paulsboro. With our team of Stevenson, Haynes, and Giampola, we feel that we can bring leadership back to Paulsboro, make Paulsboro a place that you want to live, you want to work, and you want to play in. This should be a town that prospers. We have a lot of ambitious ideas. And we're not promising you that we're going to fix everything right away, but we are guaranteeing you that come November 4th, after you elect us, we are going to hit the ground running. And we have some good things that we have planned for Paulsboro. With Gary Stevenson as our leader, I think we can move forward. Thank you very much, and we look forward to your support on November 3rd for Haynes, Giampola, and Stevenson. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gary Stevenson. I'm running for mayor for our great borough. As the gentlemen have said, we are a team. Our team is focused on leadership and new vision. The vision to see some of these projects come forward, like the port, the plaza, the Route 295 development. And the vision to get us that way, to see what we need to do and how to do it for our residents, to get them jobs at the port. And with this team, we feel we can do that. We want to institute new things that are going to make Paulsboro a lot better place to live and work in. So I'd like to ask you once again for your support for Stevenson, Giampola, and Haynes to make Paulsboro better, and that's our motto, and we promise to do that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Losada Shaw. I'm an independent candidate for Paulsboro Council. My family and I have lived in Paulsboro for the last 11 years and have been very active in the community, including the last 6 years serving on the school board for Paulsboro. I have listened to many residents and discussed their concerns. Paulsboro has a lot of potential, but to truly move forward, reduce crime, and improve quality of life, we need to first address the root cause of our problems. Slumlords exploiting our towns, and we need to hit them where it hurts, their wallets. Once we fix this issue, crime should start to go down, and quality of life should improve. So older folks can feel comfortable sitting on their front porch and have nothing to worry about being harassed, or their vehicles being keyed in their driveways, or worried about their grandchildren getting shot walking home from the bus stop. Just be able to enjoy normal everyday things people take for granted in other towns. Paulsboro has an image problem. This makes it difficult to attract those looking to purchase a home, raise a family, and be part of a small town. It also makes it difficult to attract and retain good, law-abiding businesses. And it does go back to the root cause. Getting our housing situation in order is essential to slow down the revolving door of transient residents and stabilize our community. But if we ignore this and just try to add developments such as the plaza, all we'll be doing is putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. If you build it, they will come. Well, that only works in the movies. Once done, I want to serve on a team that revitalizes our community. I have met with Councilman Stevenson a few months ago to discuss our campaign platforms and mentioned the idea of working with the local industry to create a training facility on the old site of Old Acme for current and future employees. Take advantage of our strengths so people don't have to go all the way to Salem for job training. It's a win-win for everyone. I'm in favor for shared services. For example, we could save close to $150 million over 30 years purchasing police and fire services from another town. Nothing should be off the table when it comes to saving public tax dollars and eliminating conflict of interest. I also support term limits. 30 years in office is too long for anyone. Breeds stagnation and limits the hopes and aspirations for future and current generations. The choice is yours on November 3rd. I hope I can count on you for your support in a vote. Thank you and God bless.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice, think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice, think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. Again, the program continues from the Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center here in the Gibbstown Shopping Center. And if you hear anything off and noise-wise, that's probably Irma being adjusted off in the background. With me now is Chief Vern Marino, longtime member of the Paulsboro Police Department, recently promoted to chief. And by the way, he and his father make the only father-son active chief combination, I think maybe in the state, Vern. Is that correct? Very likely. Now, and this, by the way, this is his formal dress. I mean, he has a chief uniform with like badges and things, but we asked him to come on to visit with us. The department is always busy, and he gives us a brief report, and also new vehicles have made their way in. The department leases 3 vehicles every 3 years, correct, Chris? Yep. Tom Sullivan started that many years ago, and it's served well. So first of all, it's your first time on the show, Vern, since being promoted to chief. I want to personally congratulate you. I know your dedication. It's a big advantage for the town to have someone come up through the ranks because you know the place.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. That is correct. I think you grow up into the department, if you will. You get to know your residents. They feel comfortable with you, and I think as you take over, coming up through the ranks too, you've worked with all the guys. They feel comfortable having you, and I think it's good for the whole. Coming through the ranks opposed from coming from the outside.
Well, I think it is too, because I think policing works best when people either have a comfort level. That doesn't mean everybody's angels out there, but policing it's not an easy business, as you know that because you've been in it all your life. And along those lines, you have body cameras now. You were first department to do that, and you recently got some new vehicles in, and they're an interesting color. It almost looks like something out of a Batman movie. Let me turn my cell phone off before we go to there. Janice calling me from Dallas. So tell us about the new vehicles.
That is correct. We went with gray. There is a point where you have a long-standing tradition, like our uniforms. We're one of few. I don't believe there's any other department in the county to wear gray and black, and I'm very proud of that. And that's a tradition. With the vehicles, we chose this time to go with gray, with the approval from council. It helps with the morale a little bit. It gives the guys something, something fresh, something new. We've got a lot of positive feedback with the gray vehicles, as well as it's twofold. With the positive review from the residents, the morale boost from the guys, but with the darker color, it does allow the officers just a few more seconds on the street before the bad guys actually see you. We went with they call it now a stealth, slick top, smooth, however you want to, without the light bar. And again, it gives the officers that little bit more advantage when they're rolled up on a car stop or they're seeing somebody on the street before they actually recognize that it's a police vehicle. Once you look at it, it's well known. You can see it has police on the side. It has all the lights that you can imagine, but it gives you that much more time for the officers.
Yeah, well, by the way, he's correct about that because I'm very conscious of it when driving on the highway. Of course, I always follow the speed limit. Well, you can't. They're hard to see coming. So, Vern, how about technology? Anything special about these cars? Onboard computers? What are they equipped with?
All our vehicles all the cars, the patrol cars and the SUVs are all equipped with the onboard data computers. They're called MDTs, mobile data terminals. Again, it allows the officers that much more flexibility when they're on the street. If they want to run someone's name, they want to run a tag, they're not always relying on the dispatch to do it. If the dispatchers are busy or they have to come to the station to check a name, they can do it. It's right at their fingertips. And that's all over cellular data.
It's just, again, it's a big deal as far as how the technology can help, and it's a long way from when Sergeant Lloyd was patrolling the streets in Paulsboro. How about drivetrains? I mean, these rear drive, front wheel drive?
Well, that's the other thing, and you get a lot of feedback when you switch, when you go from cars to SUVs, and the big question is the cost. And although it's about 1,500 hours more than a vehicle, the advantages for using an SUV is so much greater. One, there's a lot more room with all the equipment that the officers carry on their person, as well as what's required in the vehicles now. It gives you that much more room. The vehicle, opposed to a car, the trunk area is larger. We have EMTs that carry their own supplies. We can carry cones and throw ropes, life vests, because we're with the river and bordered by water. They're all-wheel drive. Again, it's a little bit more advantage. Our town's known for flooding. That's an advantage. We can actually get through water where we would have to go around with the cars. Snow, although we don't get a lot of it, the SUVs are advantage over the patrol car. They're still 6 cylinders. Gas mileage is almost equivalent to the police car itself. So with the 1,500 hours more in cost, the advantages are significant.
They sound it. I think it's very smart planning too, because you got to have equipment, especially in emergency response and dealing with some of the things we can face. We just visited with Vern Marino, the new chief of the Paulsboro Police Department. He's a person who understands this town as well as the surrounding areas, and I know his family and father are very proud. We'll be right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
And welcome back to Eye on Paulsboro. It's time for community notes, but before we start, let me say that we have a lot of footage that we would use during this segment, but because of the length of this show, we're going to have it on the next show. So to Jennifer Turner and all her people to put together the Multicultural Day, that footage will be on the next show. For Mr. Klein, who sent footage about the churches getting together, we'll have that on the next show. So a lot more to come, but right now, Irma, just some highlights.
John, I'm so happy that Paulsboro's busy. Gibbstown Volunteer Fire Association number 21 Ladies Auxiliary are holding a fall bazaar Saturday, October 24th, 10 to 4 p. at the Gibbstown Volunteer Fire Association Firehouse, East Broad Street. They have vendors and crafters. Please join them. PHS class of 1975 is having their 40 years class reunion on October 31st. Homecoming parade is at 11 a.m. They're going to tailgate at the Parent Center Tour, 11:30. After the tour, the football game at 1 o'clock, and then 7 p.m. Sportsman's Club, $30 cash bar, DJ with a photo booth. Call Brenda Stevenson at 423-2438. And John, we are going to have a designer bag bingo plus the Chinese auction. Benefit the Paulsboro Volunteer Firehouse Friday on December the 4th. Paulsboro Firehouse, 1502 Swedesboro Avenue. Doors open at 5:30. Bingo starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are $25, $30 at the door. Vera Bradley, Coach Michael Kors, 856-423-8066. And don't forget, St. Paul's United Methodist Church has a craft sale, 9p to 3p on November the 7th. There's games for kids, crafters, and all kinds of stuff there. And welcome to Hometown Deli, John. Paul Marino's Deli with his group. It's on 500 block of Manchester Avenue. They just opened, and we're so happy to have a new business in town. And I just understood, congratulations to Weiss's. 83 years in the borough, John.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Great. If there's nothing, don't think twice. Think Weiss.
And that's going to do it. The program was loaded, so I had to cut the community notes a little bit short, but we'll be back with a new show in a week or two. Irma?
Well, see you on Broad Street. Woodbury Parade, a Woodbury game. That's going to be interesting this weekend. Go Big Red.
For Fred Buchter behind the camera, Amy Cook, Bill Crane, our producer who couldn't make it, and Beth, I told you there'd be a new show this week. Until next time.